I understand that this is not okay and will never be. I have thought about this decision every day and regret it. Set a delayed message to be sent at 10 a.m. the next morning with the receivers being everyone I know including parents, employers, co-workers, and friends. Then pack the important things in my truck and answer her constant calls and tell my now ex to come over tomorrow at 10 to talk. Factory reset my phone, left it on the counter with my keys and a note explaining what I did and left around 4 a.m. Now without a phone with no numbers and vowed to never use social media platforms. I just kept driving until I found a place I wanted to stay and lived out of my truck for about a month. When I found the town that I currently live in, I found a decent job, found an apartment and decided to go to therapy. A year later, after gaining about 50 pounds and just focusing on work, I decided to get my life together. I started with trying to go to a gym about 2 blocks away. They were cheap and open 24 hours. I would go before work, early in the morning because not many people were there. I was awkward and embarrassed. This is where I met Jane. Jane is fit and in her late 30s, early 40s. It started out her giving me advice and pointers. About a month later, I was flirting and touching. I made it clear that I was not looking for anything and she agreed. We started to hook up about 3 times a week. For about a year. Sometimes at the gym, my truck or my apartment. During this time she said she had a couple kids and their dad was not in the picture. It was fun and she taught me a lot and I worked on a lot of cardio and endurance with her. Around this time I decided to go back to college and get real about my future. Told Jane that I would not be going to the gym that early anymore due to classes and my job. She understood and wished me luck. Early on in one of my classes I got paired with a cute girl named Jasmine, 20. Jasmine and I started working on a project and got close. We shared a bunch of interests and hobbies. While spending time studying and doing school work. We went to local cafes, libraries and sometimes my apartment for this work. One day I missed class and she came to my apartment to see if I was okay. I did not give out my number at this time, mainly communicated through school email. I just had a cold and was nervous with this virus running around. She had brought some food and a home test for said virus, negative. We spent the rest of the evening watching shows. This continued through the weekend when I was feeling better. One thing led to another and we started kissing. At this point I really liked her. I stopped her and told her part of my history, that I have trust issues and commitment issues. Then I told her I want to go slow. She agreed and we continued going slowly for about a month. After that month things heated up. That was 2 months ago and now we are officially dating. Some things about Jasmine. She has her own apartment with 3 roommates, all girls going to college, and we never go over there. We never really talked about her family because they were not that close anymore. But she said her parents had her when they were teenagers. Happily married for 21 years and she has a little brother 7 years younger than her. I told her I did not have any family that's alive anymore. I guess at one point last week she mentioned to her parents that she was seeing someone and they asked her to invite me over to watch the Super Bowl in a couple weeks. I was nervous when she told me this and asked what her parents are like and what they look like. That is where she showed me a picture of her parents, Mark and Julie. I asked what her mom's name is again and she said Julie. Why? I said she looks like a girl I knew, her name was Jane. She said that's really odd. Something about Jane/Julie is that she has a red heart-shaped tattoo on her wrist and this tattoo was in the picture she showed me. Do I tell her about what happened with the gym girl? Not say anything and hope Jane/Julie doesn't say anything. I know how it feels being cheated on. Jasmine and I have not talked since Wednesday. And I'm pretty sure we are broken up. After I posted, I went to get an actual phone, not the cheap flip phone that I had. Why are new phones and plans so expensive? I did so that communication could happen easier later on if needed. Anyways, on Wednesdays and Fridays Jasmine and I have a class together. When she came in, she could tell I was still not acting normal and tried to make me cheer up and it worked. I asked if she wanted to grab a bite to eat at a place we like not far from my apartment. We met up at my apartment and decided to walk to the restaurant. We talked about class and I told her about my new phone and she was showing/telling me about some of the apps and features she liked about it. I'm still not using the big 3 social media platforms. I'm still getting used to it after having a burner phone, as she called it. We went home after eating and started to head back to the apartment. We did not talk until we got in the door. Now my apartment is not that big, it is basically 3 rooms. The bedroom, the bathroom, and a shared kitchen and living room. I walked in and sat on the couch on the far side of the room. She stood in front of me and asked what was going on with me and if this was about meeting her family. I responded that it was and we needed to have a serious talk, and then I asked if she could please sit down. She got a sad and worried look on her face and asked if I was breaking up with her. I responded that this is the last thing I want to do. That I care for her and I trust her. She knows that for me that is a big thing and is deeper than telling her that I love her. I asked her if she could answer a few questions honestly and please wait until after to ask questions back. She agreed. The first question was if I could see the picture of her parents again. She showed me. Then I asked if she had a picture of her mom's tattoo on her wrist. Which she did from the day she got it done. My heart dropped at this point. Heart-shaped tattoo with the same details in writing. She noticed my shift at this and started to ask about it but stopped herself. I then asked if her mom goes to the gym. She responded that she thinks she did before her brother goes to school. I think at this point she was really connecting the dots. My next question was the one that confirmed that it was her mom. I asked if she had an identifiable scar describing the shape and location. It could not be easily seen. She stood up and asked how the hell I knew that. I'm not afraid to admit I started to tear up and choke up. I apologized and told her everything. How I met a woman named Jane at the gym down the block and how she helped me out. How one thing led to another. Did not go into amazing detail but got the point across and why/when it ended and that I have not seen her since that day until that picture. She stood there and started to cry. I wanted to stand up and give her a hug but was afraid of what would happen. I tried to explain that it was nothing serious. We would just meet at the gym. No calls or text or emails. Then told her what little I know about Jane/Julie via what she told me. That she has 2 kids and her husband/father was not in the picture and small other details. Including that I had no idea about her being currently married or the ages/genders of her kids. This is when my girlfriend, I don't know what else to call her, asked about when it started and ended. I think this was to get a more accurate timeline of events. Then she said that she needed time to think it over and ask questions. I asked if I could give her a hug and walk her to her car. She agreed and that was the second to last time I saw her. When Friday's class came around she walked in not looking like her normal self. I stood up, made eye contact and she shook her head and walked to the other side of the room. Not going to lie, that look broke me. I went through the motions of class and as soon as time was up she left the room in a hurry. I talked to my professor and asked if I could finish the semester at home instead of in class. I didn't want to cause her any more problems. I made the excuse of my job sending me somewhere for an unknown amount of time and we ended up with an agreement. I am currently sitting in my apartment and trying everything in my power to not call or text her.